Bill Russell, CEO of One of One. Thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. You guys, I have this special box, and in this special box is a magic with these products. I met Bill through a meeting I was at and got to know him and the work he's doing with One of One. And so we're going to jump right in and get you introduced to the audience so they can hear all the things you're passionate about that I got to hear in our meeting. So Bill, who are you and what do you really do?
That's a complicated question. So I'm the CEO of One of One, and Bonnie, thanks for taking the time today. We've had some really great conversations, and I think both of our passion for health and fitness comes through, and that's really what I think draws a lot of us into this industry is really trying to help people. It's a lifestyle that we all lead and live, and it's really kind of who we all are at our core. And so, as the CEO of One of One, it's something where I'm super passionate about this industry. Been involved in fitness for over 40 years now, as a competitor, as an athlete, as a father, and a coach. So I think you embody all those different things, and you realize that the people that you're around are, striving for different things in life and competing and improving and working on their own goals. And really, that's what One on One is about helping people and really being passionate about getting better and helping people get better and healthier.
That was the one thing I think I really connected with you on that level was your experience in the fitness industry, in the gym, just the hustle and grind it takes just to make it in the health and wellness space, which is kind of interesting because health and wellness is truly about creating a very holistic, meaningful lifestyle. And you would think it would be the top of mind for everybody, but it's not. And so through that meeting, I was able to learn about your passion in creating these kinds of brands. And with One of One, you have this influencer, Floyd Mayweather. Creator of the brand, one day you're just like, okay, I think I'm going to go meet Floyd and bring this all together. How did this idea come about to partner with Floyd?
Well, first of all, I think I gotta make a small correction. It's a massive understatement to call Floyd an influencer. I mean, he's arguably the greatest boxer in the history of the world, and tremendous businessman. But we were fortunate enough to have an introduction to Floyd through a group called WME, William Morris Endeavor. And my business partner and I had occasion to go and meet with WME and one of Floyd's business partners, James Williams. And they had been a number of years, they had been looking at an opportunity for Floyd to partner with somebody who embodied what Floyd really believed in as far as supplements. And I'm a boxing fan, but from afar, really. Obviously, most people are aware of Floyd and his greatness and the things he's accomplished, whether you're a boxing fan or not. And so, the opportunity to meet with WME, the largest talent agency in the world, and learn about this wonderful boxer and tremendous businessman, and he's done so much in our community. So it was a tremendous honor just to go and have an opportunity to meet with this group. And so we went and explored the vision that James and Floyd and the team had for this supplement company. And, very much like our conversations, Bonnie, it was the passion was evident when we were around the table about, what was Floyd looking for? What did the brand have to represent in order for him to be a partner? And that's, again, unique, I think, in our structure, in that Floyd is the founder. Floyd is an equity partner of ours in this. Unlike a lot of different celebrity brands where people are, endorsing things or royalties or different things, this is something that Floyd's been involved with every step of the way with us, making sure that everything that he's done in his life to get where he is has been really tremendous about being the best that he possibly can be. And that was really important to him that he interviewed with and met with people that were willing to give that passion and ensure that the products that we were going to put out were going to be the best out there, that we were going to stand behind them, that they were going to be, driven and focused on science, that were going to be around achieving results for people. And so from that very first meeting, I mean, we had initially set up a 2-hour window to meet with this group, and we spent nearly the entire day with them, ended up going to dinner, followed by more conversation after dinner. It was clear that the passion and the alignment was really, really strong from the beginning. And there were some tough negotiations in the beginning to make sure that we got everything that was important from a business standpoint. But I would say once we got the contract signed, it was we were off to the races. We've been seamless partners. Floyd's been a fantastic person to work with. WME has been unbelievably supportive with helping us grow the brand with introductions and input and different components of the piece that come around actually starting a new brand. We've got so many really smart, talented people. It's been a phenomenal experience now.
I noticed that Floyd, and you are right, correction, I think influencer is becoming a negative connotation where, in my mind, me, Bonnie, right, I think of influencer as somebody who has the ability to influence me through their example.
Right.
And hearing his stories about the kind of person he is outside of the boxing ring, to his family, to his friends, and the incredible get it done kind of an attitude, and the value he puts in who he is as a person first, that self-love. I mean, tell us one thing that you think would be important for us to understand about Floyd, especially when how he's portrayed, in media versus like what he's brought to the table outside of the negotiation and the branding, who you felt like him to the core resonated with you.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Like, having spent better part of the last year, having met him lots of times and been to his house and spent time with him and met his grandson. And, he is, I would say, first and foremost, is really, really passionate about his family. He's truly like, having an impression of somebody before you meet them is something we probably all have a tendency to do, judge a book by its cover kind of approach. And yet, understanding that Floyd is a person like the rest of us and has been very successful at making money and being successful in the boxing ring and business all around. But a lot of that was, he was creating an image. He was creating a persona and a boxing life and all that kind of stuff and selling fights and all the things that go along with that piece of it. But behind the scenes, a generous, compassionate person, a family person, really committed to achieving greatness and putting in the work. I mean, the one thing that kept coming up at the table every time we were talking about this brand was, the grind and to hear his from, growing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan as a very, very underprivileged young man, just putting in the work, grinding and working harder than anybody all the time and always. I mean, there's all kinds of stories about Floyd, being at a club until 3, 4 in the morning and he doesn't even drink, never drank, so he would just be there with his friends. And yet, everybody else was drinking and partying and everything. And Floyd would have a good time and then leave the club and he'd take off his chains and put on a hoodie and run home 10 miles. Like, I mean, this is 3, 4 in the morning. The guy was a relentless, tireless worker. And, I think we can all relate to that as entrepreneurs and different people in life where if you want to achieve something, you got to put in the work and there's no shortcuts. Another thing that this brand really kind of tries to resonate. And we understand that, if you think about different people and where they are in their fitness journey, people are using fitness to overcome different things, right? Some people want to be a bodybuilder and win Mr. Olympia, and some people want to achieve, some kind of health goal, some fitness goal. Those are fine. We've got people that are overcoming traumas in their life. We've got people that are overcoming addictions. And what a great way to be overcoming those difficult things by focusing on your health and your wellness and, support. And I think that we all know different people that are dealing with challenges in their life. And if they can lead on something like, health and wellness and fitness, as opposed to different crutches that, are maybe in a negative connotation, I think we should all be really super supportive. And the fitness community in general is quite a positive one. I think we all strive to help each other and improve. And I mean, it's, having been around gyms now for 40 years, is nothing like saying to somebody like, you look amazing. You're getting faster, you're getting leaner, you're getting stronger. Like, everybody feels good about being around someone that's supportive. And, I love that about the fitness community. It's really rallies around people and improving. It's an environment where we're truly competing against ourselves. There's always going to be someone bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. That's okay. That's life. But, that's why, I mean, I know you're aware, but I mean, our tagline is you versus yesterday. And it's like, this is not about competing against anybody else on the planet except yourself. It's about self-improvement. It's about being better tomorrow than you were yesterday and improving yourself and feeling better and looking better and, achieving the goals that you set for yourself. It's not about anybody else's goals.
I feel like that mindset has shifted a lot, especially the last 10 years, where social media has brought to light a platform for everybody to showcase, not a way for them to say, hey, look, I'm here improving. And the gyms, you remember when the gyms used to be so scarce and people going there was like a traditional bodybuilder and
Yeah.
then, kind of like a little bit of lifestyle. But now, I mean, you go in there at 5, 6 o'clock at night, you've got teenagers in there. And I agree with what you say. People are looking to lead their life in a different way, to bring in a way to redirect the unhealthy things that they're dealing with into a very healthy way. So when I want to jump into this packaging because it's so freaking cool. It's beautiful. I'm a packaging person. I love looking at brands. And the first thing I noticed was the colors. And when you're on shelf and just, I mean, the colors, and then I go to the ingredients, right? If you've got me from the color and then the name, then
Right.
I'm gonna be past that 3 second marketing that were you sold me on. And I went into the ingredients, and having experienced your formulator and been on meetings with him as you guys have developed some products, I was so impressed with the amount of time and consideration that you guys have put into the blend of ingredients. Now, being in nutraceuticals, I experience a lot of different brands, and
Sure.
not all of them have that tentative care. They're all about the costing and the cheapest ingredient and how quick to get to market. And then when it actually gets there, people aren't getting a very efficacious product, and then that, to me, that makes me sad because they're
Yeah.
seeking that extra help. And so you had shared a story about the validity of your ingredients really supporting the push that people put into it. Do you want to share that when we were talking about the Navy SEALs?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the timing of this podcast, Bonnie, because I mean, we've got an interesting shareholder by the name of Jeff Gum, and Jeff is a phenomenal guy. He's a retired Navy SEAL, and he was the head trainer for hand-to-hand combat for the SEALs. So I mean, just an absolute warrior. Obviously defended the country and gave a lot to everyone, but he's now supporting the SEALs and doing a bunch of stuff for the military in retirement. And one of the things Jeff had come to me with, he said, "Hey, we've got this interesting concept where we're looking at filming. We're looking at filming a mini Hell Week with a YouTuber. Him and three other SEALs kind of built up this, one day kind of condensed Hell Week where they wake up this YouTuber. The guy's name is Nick Narsanian, and
Mm-hmm.
he Narsini. Sorry, excuse me. And so it was actually earlier this week where in Fort Lauderdale, the SEALs barge into the house and pull Nick out of bed at 3:30 in the morning, and he starts this crazy training, which we've all seen the movies with the bell on the beach, and they're trying to make you quit, and they're really really grinding the people.
Just in your face.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And so this in a condensed way, they actually they pull Nick out and he starts competing. And after about 2 hours, he starts cramping. Like it's just like, and this is something that's going to go on for 16 hours. So after 2 hours, he starts cramping, and they're like, "Wow, like how's he going to make it? It's only 5:30 in the
Wow.
morning." And obviously we were supportive of it, so we had some products there available for him and stuff. And he started taking the pre-workout and a whole bunch of the hydration. He was just really, because he was clearly working hard. And I think once he was getting a bunch of the ingredients that we have in the hydration, it was preventing the cramping. He started to improve, and he starts commenting as the day goes on. He gets stronger, and he's like, and it was totally unprompted. He's like, "Wow, these 101 products are unbelievable. I'm feeling better. I'm getting stronger." And so it was interesting that we're getting this feedback from Nick and his team that how the day went. And I was like, well, that's actually what the product should be doing, right? It's just totally unprompted. It's interesting that real life goes out there, and they're doing this SEALs video, and sure enough, the products work. So that's a pretty cool endorsement.
I think that speaks volumes. Again, just saying the quality of ingredients that you have, your body absorbing them and actually using them.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with so much fillers being into it and the controversy, I mean, I probably get asked like, what 90 is that 90% of the products that are out there really aren't going to do what they say they're going to do. So, and then to have packaging, it's a whole complete package, and I am a big fan.
That's cool.
So, to that, how do you feel like the brand reflected your vision in self confidence and expression?
Yeah, good. Let me just step back for 1 second because you mentioned the packaging there, and I do want to give you just a little bit of a comment on the packaging. There you go.
Yeah,
So, I mean, first of all, you can tell like kind of the metallic coloring and stuff is unique. I mean, I affectionately say that I'm an old school hammerhead. Been around. I competed for 11 years, and that's all fine. But fitness has changed a lot since I started. In the bodybuilding arena, and I think that having a nice looking package with premium products and premium ingredients is really super important. It's not just wham bam some kind of big ephedrine kind of dose to get you up and lifting some heavy weights. And so when we were working with the agency and our internal creative team, and literally looking at the packaging and how it came about. If you read that package, it says 101 across the top, but that's meant to be like a headline on a newspaper. And so you've got 101, it's an exclamation, it's we're launching the 101, and then below that is actually a manifesto, and it's for
right
my old
here.
eyes it's a little too small to read, but it actually talks about the grind. It talks about day after day, and it goes through the experience. And I think if you read that, you're like, wow, it's so powerful. And that was something we created with Floyd. It was about kind of the journey and that journey and how it can relate to every single person. And then we put little pieces on the packaging. Like there's a lot of detail around, there's a boxing ring on there with a little kind of affectionately towards Floyd. And then the one of one to recognize that we're all unique and tying the boxing together, even though we're not a boxing brand. And, so much thought went into how to put that together. And then finally, because Floyd's known to be this premium kind of number one in his sport and, number one in a lot of ways, to say, let's have like the high gloss metallic finish on the packaging and stuff. Like, let's not spare any expenses. And all of that stuff adds up and certainly costs us more than what other people might put into their packaging.
Right.
But I think it really says like not only is the packaging important, but the ingredients, and we're not going to spare any expenses to try and make a little bit of extra margin, cut corners. And so I think when people see that from beginning to end, that they're getting something superior, and then the results deliver, then we think we're going to have a great community and a long following for a long time.
I really agree. This manifesto, I think we need to read it. I think we need to say it out loud on this packaging. So because I'm old, I'm going to do the trombone movement here, but you're squaring off with yesterday's version of yourself, laying it all on the line. They'll call it luck. They'll say it was bound to happen, but you know the truth. The unbreakable commitment. Ooh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
That brought you here. Every early morning alarm, every choice you made when others would have folded, every ounce of gift, it's all stacking up. No shortcuts, no excuses. While they cling to comfort, you chase the burn. And when they try to explain away your success, they'll never mention the grind. They'll never There's never been a room for negotiation, no option to quit. That's what sets you apart. And deep down, this ends. You know how this ends. You weren't built to be one of many, just
Just one
one
of
of
one.
one. Kay, literally goosebumps the entire time. Being a mindset coach and studying words and the power of linguistics on our brain and our actions, right? Like I'm all about that. And people don't realize truly the power of our words. I can just envision it right now, right? Like Floyd thinking about each workout. I mean, just to get up for our 4 a.m. workout or
Yeah.
5 p.m. workout, the self talk that goes there. Could you even imagine at this level when everything's on the line? Literally, your career as a boxer, your dad. I mean, it's a family. Um, it's a family time. He trained with his dad. Am I wrong?
No, yeah,
And
his dad actually fought professional. His dad was a phenomenal boxer as
right.
well. I mean, Bonnie, it's interesting spending some time with Floyd in LA a couple weeks ago, and Floyd's finalized the documentary, which is about eight series long, I believe. It's really amazing that
Mm,
they filmed him from the time he was like 9 or 10 years old. So he's got like hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage. It's when it's released, it's going to be unbelievable. I watched probably 20-minute preview on the different sections of this, and you see this young man at like 10 years old striving and fighting and training, and like literally it's just who he is. It's really unbelievable. And even more unique, I think, like how did they recognize they were not a well-off family to be filming this kind of stuff it was unbelievable. Like, I mean, I played hockey and played football and all these kinds of things, but nobody's got any footage of me playing hockey at 10. It's like, why would you film your 10-year-old at hockey? Like, it was way before phones, right? So it's amazing that they had the foresight to do that. You got this old footage with him, with his family and stuff. It's really unbelievable.
Him coming from nothing really, and these people that have these kinds of stories, I think it leads the pathway to show people that with a strong mindset and a determination and a will to not give up, what you truly can accomplish if you put your mind to it. I mean, how many of the greatest of all times, the GOATs in this world, have
Yeah.
done that and have been told they weren't talented? They would never have this or never that. Like, what would you say if somebody came to you and they were and they wanted to know if they were capable? Okay, so let's say you have a son or a daughter and they're going to go to college. Are you going to tell them, oh, college sports is too hard? Or are you going to say to them, what are you going to say to them, Bill? Like, tell me.
Well, it's interesting to say that. I mean, I've got three great kids, and I've got two of them at college right now, so it's timely. And I think first of all, again, it goes back to the uniqueness. Every kid's different, every person's different, so whatever their goals are. But I've told them, look, the world's your oyster, so you should whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, sports or otherwise, you go for it. And I think that's what we all do in fitness. But whether it's in your life as in education or different things, it's like if you put your mind to it and you're relentless in your pursuit of greatness, then you'll get there. And it's not really whether you're going to achieve it; it's just whether or not you quit before you get there. So it's really about pursuing that greatness. And I think whether it's kids or adults, it's never too late. I think I talk to my parents who are in their 70s. I've got them now. My mom's taking creatine and greens. And, it's amazing because as we learn more about the value of supplementation and in improving their health. And, whether you're 16 or 66, I think, you can benefit from different supplements and we all, again, have our own goals. My parents are not looking to win any marathons or anything, but they're certainly looking to live longer, healthier lives.
I would agree with that. You had brought up a good point there with Floyd being really close to his family, especially his dad, and the longevity and quality of life. I would imagine these supplements would also speak to all age demographics in hitting that goal and creating a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, Bonnie. So, like, I would say we're launching with we're launched now recently. We've got 18 SKUs across 7 different products. I would say it's kind of a core group, and then we've got a whole pipeline of stuff that we're going to be launching in the next kind of 12 to 18 months, and we're going to keep it exciting and interesting because there's so much innovation. And so, but we wanted to have a core stable that we could get on the shelf and get people joining the community and getting some results, and then identifying the opportunities, working with different research labs, our internal formulator, Ishan, who's done an amazing job, and then quite frankly, just individual labs that have inputs on different ingredients that we can put forward to really help people. And I think we can be super innovative. I mean, I've certainly worked with Rob. We've talked a lot about the benefits of BHB and all of the studies that are being done around that. And I know you and Rob have done some tremendous work. You're kind of pioneers in that space. And, before you guys, I didn't really know a lot about it, but now having consumed a bunch of it, I'm a fan. And,
You're not getting away with not taking any when you meet me, right? I'm gonna stick an IV in your arm.
well, now you're not getting away without sending me some more products. So
Perfect.
it's phenomenal. And so, I think we'll do some interesting stuff with you. And we've talked with Joey and Ish to look at different things that we can do there. And so innovation is really important for us in this area because we, again, recognizing people's needs. So yeah, there's a lot of different areas that we want to focus on for sure.
So there's like 5 questions I want to ask you because you bring up so many good points. Like this is what I love about the conversations, right?
Before you go
all
there,
of them they
can
could
I just
go.
go back to one thing, Bonnie? Just
Yeah.
you mentioned something there about Floyd growing up under privilege and stuff, and I think that it's important that we let people know that one of the things that we're looking at, and we haven't announced it yet, but it's going to be coming out pretty soon, is the opportunity for Floyd to give back. And
Wow.
you mentioned before about what things that people don't know, and I didn't mention at the time, and I probably should have, but in different kind of global crises, Floyd, without being at the front page of anything, he has loaded up his private jet, and everybody wants to talk about, oh yeah, he's got 2 private jets and this and that. But here's a man who loads them up with different goods that are required for the situation to help people. Was with the fires that were in LA, he was helping people there as well. But there's been different things globally where he's literally put supplies on a plane and been the first one to support people. And he's not the one that's in the media saying, "Look at me, look what I'm doing." It's
Doing
really,
it for the show of it.
yeah, he's a good person, and he just really wants to help people. And so we talked early with Floyd about wanting to give back, and because he grew up underprivileged, and like I say, probably his favorite person in the world is his grandson. So we were looking at different ways we can give back to underprivileged kids, and supporting them in sports and different things like that. So it's really about being true to who you are and the brand. And it starts with Floyd and some of his vision, and how can we support what he wants to be passionate about, what he is passionate about, and how can we make a difference, and whether it's giving back, whether it's supporting people in their health journey, and making people better. So that's really important to us. And as a father of 3, I think giving back to our kids and making sure they're healthy and they've got a path forward is really important.
I totally agree with that. I think being able to work to create the wealth that he has through that dedication, one, sets an example of what you're truly capable of. And then
Right.
through that capability, what blessings gets brought, and then the ability to be able to do that. I mean, yeah, I've seen videos, he's super showy, but at the same time, like, you can just see in the face this very authentic, soft, like, good heart. Like, you just see it in his face
Right.
with all of it. When developing the products, what would you say was the biggest challenge you had and that you had to overcome, that probably made you question if this was going to move forward or not?
So I'll be honest, I never questioned whether it was going to move forward.
Okay.
Like I had a commitment that we were going to go forward with this, and we were going to be this wonderful brand. I had a vision from the beginning. I've got an amazing team. I've got amazing partners, and even from Floyd on down, there's lots of smart people around this. So I knew we'd figure it out. I would say one of the bigger challenges with supplements in general is making sure that you have the right formulation, and that you don't cut corners on the inputs, but also then the flavor becomes really critical. And you know for someone that's really super, if you're going to be an Olympian or you're going to be an ultra marathoner, you might choke down some formulation that tastes awful, but that you need it for where you're going with your fitness goals. But for the majority of people, taste becomes really important. I talk often about maximizing versus optimizing, and if somebody is unable to stomach the flavor of something, or they're upsets their stomach or different things like that, the flavor is awful. It's just really, really hard to be continually taking it for long term. And we know that supplementation is something you don't do it for a day or a week. It's you get better day after day. You've got to continually do it for long periods of time. And so we wanted to make sure that even though we were putting in a whole bunch of really ingredients that were important to the formulation, we also had them to kind of make sure that that went along with the formulation, and the flavors were good, so that the taste was quality, and kind of getting that all together. That was a bit more of an art than a science, really.
When you were talking about the formulation and additional products to come, I've noticed within your line, you've hit on a lot of key things. Now, listen, every ingredient has its place, and when you synergistically can match some of them correctly or in alignment just perfectly, then you get like a 1 + 1 = 4, right?
Right.
So I've noticed that with all of your ingredients, and like you said, where he's transitioning to having this be available to all different kind of age demographics. This is a brand I would give my teenagers. Like, it's so clean, so good, and
It's
they
amazing.
actually,
Thank you.
right, the one of them tried the gut product, which I think is awesome. He's like, what are you having me do? I'm like, do you want to have a salad, or do you want to have some greens? So um, with that being said, soon to come are the products, yes, we have been talking about with beta hydroxybutyrate. And I think even more just being a complement to that, based off of like the continuous healing that Floyd's doing within himself, right? He's got his family, who that he's close to. He's taking care of his dad, the importance of longevity and nutrition outside of the mindset, just taking care, I would imagine, as a boxer, the brain, and wanting to continue to have that sharp focus throughout his life, even after the spotlight's gone.
Yeah, I mean, brain health, obviously, for anybody that's competed in any contact sport, for sure, for any period of time, is we're much more aware. Again, I think competing in sports in the '70s or '80s, we all had our bell rung or saw some stars, but we didn't realize
Yeah,
there were concussions,
a
right? It was a
backdoor
way to,
fight.
yeah, it was like, let's just get up and shake it off and go back in there. But now we realize the real long-term damages that can be done, and I think now understanding what we were doing or what can happen in those in those scenarios is, firstly, how do we put regulation in sport to protect kids and athletes in general, but then if the injuries occur, which are undoubtedly going to happen, is how do we try and manage and maintain health, and things like brain are so critical. So things that we can do to insulate or protect the brain up front, to prepare it in case an injury comes, and then help heal it afterwards. These things, science is really helping us understand more about how we improve the body and the health there. So it's important that we get those messages out.
What advice would you give to any aspiring entrepreneur, especially in the branding industry?
Oh boy, the branding. I'm certainly not, I'm not the creative brain. My marketing team will
Well,
do that.
let me phrase that in nutraceutical space.
In the nutraceutical space, it's a very crowded, competitive arena. I think it's really important that you do something that truly resonates with you. If you are doing something that you're passionate about, and if it's nutraceuticals, great. But it's something you believe in, and you're trying to be the best at what you're doing. Then I would say go for it. And the profits, the growth, the fame, whatever, that those things will come. It's really just about doing something you're passionate about, and compete and work hard every day, and things will get better, and you'll drive forward.
It sounds like you and Floyd are kind of one and the same, right? Like you, I mean, you personally, and him, just as his story, I would imagine just being able to come together and have that like-mindedness has just empowered the brand. So that being said, out of all of the products, if you were on a desert island and you could only pick one of your top SKUs out of all of them, and that was going to help you to survive macro micronutrient, what would it be? The first
well,
one everybody should buy.
well, those are different questions. If I'm on a desert island, I need hydration, so I'm gonna take hydration.
Well, there's not going to be one function. You just have to pick the one.
Yeah, I really love our peptide builder. It's pretty innovative. Even at my age,
That's fun.
I'm still looking to maintain muscle, and I think it's I'm a strong believer in the importance of muscle, and it's not about being a bodybuilder. I mean, Bonnie, we've had lots of talks about Dr. Gabrielle Lyons, and how she's educating people on the importance of protein and muscle in men and women and all of ages and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Peter Attia, and those people are really pioneers in helping educate the world on the importance of longevity, but not just living long, but living healthy. And we're seeing more and more correlation as it ties to strength, and more importantly, muscle. And so as we get older, we're not able to ingest and get the value from protein at the same level we are when we're younger. So I think it's important that we continue to take more and more protein. So protein shakes and those things are important. But to me, again, the peptide builder is unique. It's not something that every brand out there has, and it is helpful for you building and maintaining your muscle mass. So.
Do you have a daily routine that Floyd recommends when it comes to any of these that he has found best to work for him, that he gets excited to share with his audience about?
I think, we've got on our website, we've got Floyd's stack, his favorite. But I think, I would say that, we recognize that your supplements should really reflect your goals and your age and stage and all that kind of stuff. So, even on the website, we talk about different stacks and how it values the individual. So, but we certainly have Floyd's on there. So,
So anybody who wants to question that and kind of get a good understanding, I mean, clearly, Bill, you and I could, consult everybody and tell them exactly how to take it, but we don't have that kind of time. So everything can be found on the website
Yep.
for them to kind of get a good feel for that and to try all these products. I'm excited. I've already dove into 2 of them, and I'm going to get into the pre-workout here after we get done talking. So I'll have to shoot you over some footage of those
Do I get to
lifts.
put the plug across the screen now?
You
youareoneof1.com.
are one. Yes. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Um, the other thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is the community that he's building outside of athletes and this family. Where do you think Floyd sees himself in the next 10 years?
It's an amazing question. He's such a driven guy. I mean, like, I saw him last week and he's talking about a tour over in Asia now. He's, got a new business venture that he's about to announce over in Asia. Just bought, like, I think it was $400 million worth of commercial real estate and apartment buildings in New York City. He's truly someone that has just aspired to continue to learn and grow and get better. And so, I think he's going to just continue to pursue all of his interests and his passions and grow his business and grow his lifestyle and give back. I mean, we've talked a lot about his ability and willingness to give back. So yeah, I think all of the above. You're certainly going to see him in the limelight for a good long time to come.
Has he ever told you any stories about when he really wanted to quit?
I've actually never heard anything about him wanting to quit. It's, I'm sure that we've all had them, so he must have had them at some point. But he's really just a phenomenal, interesting person who's just rags to riches. Who, his not only just his boxing journey though, but his life journey and what he's done is aspiring. And I think that's why I'm really excited for this docuseries to come out. I think it's we're probably another few quarters away, but I'm sure whoever ends up, publishing this, buying the rights and putting it out there, it's going to be really, really widely watched because it's such an unbelievable story to come from where he has to ultimately where he is today, and then just be, the wonderful role model that he is. And I think it's important that people know that, aside from the glitz and the glam and the watches and the jets and all that kind of stuff, he's a great person, a very generous person, a kind person. And, those things are way more important than all the money and the fame and all that kind of stuff. So,
what I heard in all of that is the biggest thing that's important to him after all of the fame and the things that go away is the legacy. I mean, can you think of another boxer after Muhammad and Mike Tyson, really, where they actually cared about their legacy and it wasn't about a hype for anything else to be seen or, a promo play? But he's one I've watched. And for the younger generations, if you haven't watched him, you definitely need to go and see some of this. And when the docuseries comes out, let us know so we can tell everybody. But it sounds like his legacy is most important to him. And through this branding, that's what you guys were able to create in a long-term supplement line, in not just the longevity of the products and what they provide on all the levels, the gut, brain, health, everything, but like as a whole complete package, the community, you as a company, him as part of the company, and just making sure everything was a holistic legacy that gets left behind even after he's gone.
Yeah, no, I think legacy is important. And, Floyd just turned 48 recently. So I do think that, once you get through, the rough and tumble 18 to 25, and then you start getting some fame and fortune, at some point you do start to think about, what's beyond that. And, like I say, I know, having seen him with his grandson, how great he is with him and how important that is. You do think about, what you're leaving behind at some point down the line. So I'm sure that's important.
All right, is there anything left on the table that we should know about One of One besides the incredible mantra on the packaging?
No, look, we're early days today. We're excited about the future. I think people are going to hear more and more about what we're doing. We've got some phenomenal promotional things and how we're going to get out there. I think we're going to give back to the community. We're going to build a big, wide following, and we're going to help a lot of people. And I think as people achieve their fitness goals and word of mouth gets out there, we're excited about where the brand's going.
Awesome. Bill Russell, CEO of One of One, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Bonnie. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, please share it and help us keep the conversation going.